I want to thank my colleagues for responding to our call, and I want to thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for coming to Nigeria House. This is your house, so the Universal House. And we want to especially welcome Dr. Babatunde, the Executive Secretary and Under-Secretary General of the UN, UNFPA. Welcome to your house. I want to say that it's both a pleasure and an honor to welcome all of you to the Nigeria House this morning for this program. It is indeed a parallel event of the 55th session of the Commission on the Status of Women on the theme Women and the World at a Turning Point. In this endeavor, I want to acknowledge the partnership of the Universal Peace Federation, led by Ginny, MC, and members of the staff of the UN office in New York. When this theme was first announced a few weeks ago, none of us could have ever imagined the dramatic turn of events all over the world, especially in North Africa and the Middle East, where peoples from Egypt, Tunisia, Yemen, Libya, which kept us busy over the weekend, and other nations have stood up to demand freedom, increased participation in their system, and these included women and youth. So really, the world is at a turning point. The world has become almost fluid and about to redefine itself. Perhaps this morning should be a morning of reflection. We should take a moment to remember that even as we meet here in the comfort of New York City, in the safety of New York City, all around the world, our brothers and our sisters, our children are facing very grave dangers, not only from conflict and unrest, but particularly from disease, from hunger, from lack of education, and especially from unemployment. Let us think that we're meeting here on their behalf. Let us empathize with them. And let us also hope and believe that we can make a difference. Talking about peace, I think there is a consensus that the quest for peace is the primary concern of all humanity, and that peace is indivisible, that peace cannot come through such external means as the power and the barrel of the gun. Peace can come through empowering all citizens. Ending decades of oppression and corruption will not bring peace unless there is a genuine reconciliation and an attitudinal transformation in all of us. It is often said that peace is a necessary prerequisite for development. And through tolerance, accommodation, we can come together to achieve peace, especially when we negotiate it. A peaceful society must find a place for all its citizens, finding a place even for those who were once oppressors, as well as the oppressed. And I believe that in this endeavor, women can and should play the principal role in this challenging task of reconciliation and forgiveness. We believe that when women sit at the peace table, negotiations will not only move faster, but they'll be assured to achieve the desired results. Lasting peace can only come about as a result of negotiation, mediation, discussions, and through a policy of inclusion, including components of the society. Most societies in this world are pluralistic, and the voices of all those components must be heard. Even more significantly, we need to ground our efforts in an enlightened set of values that moves beyond tolerance to empathy and understanding of one another's cultures and traditions. Yes, in the world today, we all accept, in broad terms, democratic principles. Nobody wants dictatorships anymore. But again, within that context, we must also retain our cultural values. Democracy, as it's said, is not a potted plant that you move from one part of the room to the other. It must be organic to any society. We may not necessarily agree on all things. Consensus is not always achieved, always, but it is necessary to find a common ground based on the principle of true human value of every man, woman, and child in any society. And I believe that the quickest way to reach that common group will be through education, not just paper education, but enlightenment, the enlightenment that comes from proper education. And then, of course, the spirit of service. And then, of course, the spirit of compassion. We need to teach our young people to become a new generation of peace, not war, not conflict. A new generation of peace who practice compassion and render service. And I always try to minister to young people when I find them. Never try to harvest what you have not planted. Never. There's a time to sow and a time to harvest. And young people must begin from the very beginnings and nurture and sustain so that there'll be a good harvest time. Also, we must show our young people that diversity must be embraced, not ignored, not feared, and that our differences, the differences between us in the world, differences of race, differences of religion, differences of ethnicity, and indeed differences of culture, can make the tapestry of mankind even more beautiful, even more meaningful. This, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is a time for new and rededicated leadership. And I say it unequivocally, that it is a new era of understanding for the leadership of women. Women must seize the moment. I believe that now is a time for women to take the leading roles, to organize the people in these times of radical change. We need genuine leaders who are not only caring, but tolerant, genuine, and most significantly, selfless, in the spirit of service. This task is far too important to be left to men. There must be a complementarity, working together with them. We can achieve our desired objectives. Winston Churchill, quoting Alexander the Great, once said that a pride of lions led by a sheep will be defeated by a flock of sheep led by a lion. Yet, those of us from Africa know very well that it is actually the lionesses that provide the leadership of the pride. Sorry, guys. Throughout today, We will all hear from our many exciting speakers about the unique and vital role of women in the task of creating peace and through peace development. Let us leave this place today not only empowered but also strengthened to make a lasting difference in our world. Thank you very much.